is coming to the surface, and I'm bringing the wrath of the seven seas with me.
So, did you join Batman audition before end up with the Aquaman role? I would love to hear the story.
Yeah, so they called in like a general casting for Batman because no one knew what Zack was trying to do, but in hindsight, Zack was trying to build the Justice League. So he would have everyone come in and read for one role for Batman. And then Ben got hired, and then I still got called in. I figured it was to play a bad guy, and then he told me he wants me to play Aquaman.
Would you say this is the big role you got now that you're stepping into the superhero universe?
You know, it's amazing. I'm very happy to be a part of the superhero comic book world. I feel like it's a very exciting time to be able to play a strong, fierce, badass, empowered, intelligent, kick-ass superhero that just so happens to be a woman. I love that, and I love that I get to be that kind of character and serve that kind of role today, when I think we're now more than ever we're really demanding now more than ever better, stronger, fuller representations of women in this industry and many industries. Both Jason and I, who plays Aquaman, we both get to be a part of really defining these characters that we haven't really seen before, that we don't, as a public, have a large expectation for already. You know, that we get to build them from the ground up and kind of be the ones to really tell their origin stories. That's cool to me.
That's great. How could you get this role as Arthur Curry, the Aquaman? Would you say this is the biggest project on your career?
This is definitely the biggest. It's one of them. Justice League's a bigger movie. If you want to know like the size of something and how much it costs, it's probably Justice League. Well, I've already been playing Aquaman for 2 movies, and so James came on with an idea and a script in a world, and he came and pitched it to me when I was on Justice League.
What was the most challenging moment throughout the Aquaman production in terms when you're on the set?
I think a lot of the wire work in the armor and doing fighting was really hard.
How was it like to act underwater when you're not actually filming underwater?
You just use your imagination. I like to be underwater. I know what it feels like to be underwater, and so you just mimic that same motion.
What was it like working with your co-stars, say Amber Heard, Nicole Kidman, and then Yahya?
I don't have anything but good things to say about my cast. We had a perfect cast. Everyone really, really smart and physical and all different styles. So, and I learned a lot too from them. Definitely, mostly from Patrick and Nicole. I learned a lot from. Me and Amber are very similar, and I feel like Yahya, you know, he definitely learned how to act because of me.
Do you have a kind of life experience relate to Aquaman, like live in a two world?
Yeah. I think there's moments in this movie that, you know, emulate my life, and that's a nice thing to draw upon. It's not necessary, but I can relate to him.
Do you think Aquaman has a good message for anyone who watch the movie, especially for kids, like how to save the earth, maybe?
There's a lot of good themes in this movie. Being family, learning how to trust oneself, believing in yourself. Obviously, the environment. There's a lot of beautiful subjects brought up to help you look inside, and you know, I think once you leave the theater, it'll still affect you. So, yeah, dude, I think there's a lot of great stuff in it.
I heard that you nearly avoided taking on the role of Mera. Was it true?
Yeah, I nearly avoided it. Yes, you know, I was reluctant to take on this role because I was unfamiliar with the superhero comic book world in general, and having very limited access to challenge this kind of idea, this preconceived expectation I had of what a woman, how women are represented and what they're really what they represent in this world. For me, I thought that what I could expect, this kind of hypersexualized, two-dimensional, objectified placeholder role seemed pretty antithetical to everything that I stand for as an actor and as a person. And I was delighted and surprised to find that in the comic book, in the original source material, to meet this empowered, strong, fierce, kick-ass character that's very much a superhero in their own right.
Okay, so yeah, Mira is like a strong woman, right? So
she's a strong superhero who happens to be a woman.
Yeah,
it's cool. I like that she's not she's not Aquawoman.
Mm-hmm.
She's Mira.
She's Mira, and I'm sure she's not a damsel in distress, really.
She's no damsel in distress. That's for damn sure.
Did you do special exercises like to fit in this role?
You know, I trained for about 5.5 hours a day for 5.5 months before even getting to Australia, where we shot this movie. And then once I was there, I continued training throughout pre-production and through the first half of filming to maintain that strength, you know, and to have that strength be underneath the costume, just to meet the physical demands of the costume itself and the rigging and the, you know, all the equipment that we needed and used on a daily basis, which are physically very demanding in and of them, you know, by themselves, just to be able to respond to the physicality that's necessary to tell our story. Add to that I play a warrior who's a superhero. I had to learn how to fight, and you know, because she is such a fierce warrior, it was important to me to be not only I had to be a proficient fighter and look skilled, but also like I was a proficient and skilled fighter underwater, which presented other kinds of challenges. So that's why I studied martial arts. I did wushu, so that I could, you know, do justice to this warrior role.
What made you super excited until you decided to helm the Aquaman production?
I was excited at the opportunity to play with a superhero character that's never been done on the big screen before. That was exciting. Yeah, just because, you know, the fact that no one's ever tackled this character before was interesting.
I saw the screening for Aquaman, and then some parts of the movie needed to be done with the wet stuff to make sure that it looked realistic. So, what was the biggest challenge on the set?
Those scenes were definitely, I think, the most technically challenging, trying to kind of create the illusion of being underwater. And so that to me was the tricky part, the underwater stuff, creating the visual look of the world and stuff like that. You know, putting the actors through these really sort of difficult rigs for them to sort of ride on, and have lots of visual effects to sort of finish it off. Yeah, those were the challenging stuff, and they make up such a big portion of the film.
Did you do some research in designing the world of Atlantis? I mean, it's pretty cool.
Lots of research, lots and lots of research. That's all we did during pre-production, just constantly designing it, working with an army of like amazing, really talented concept artists to kind of create the worlds, the buildings, the animals, the creatures and the ships, and just lots of different, and then trying to remember story point about, you know, which kingdom has a different look and stuff like that. It took a long time designing the visual of this film. Long, months and months and months. Do you want an actual date?
I thought it was taken like years.
I mean, no. I mean, like I've been on this movie 3 years, so from start to finish. So,
how much of Aquaman is CGI versus practical effects?
It's kind of hard to say that. I mean, like even let's say for like a simple scene, you know, where the characters are sitting in a bar, you know, like outside the window, you know, like the window is visual effects, you know, and so like, so even the simplest scene is visual effects, and so there's a lot of visual effects in this film, but you can guarantee pretty much anything that is in the underwater world, that's all visual effects, that's all CGI. Yeah, but then with humans in there.
So, did you bring your horror genre filmmaking abilities to bear in this superhero movie?
I think you know, I've learned a lot from making every one of my movies. So I just carry my style from one film to another Yeah.
What is the difference between directing the horror and the superhero movie?
Not from not much difference from a storytelling standpoint. You know, storytelling at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what genre it's in. It's the same.
Aquaman is your first superhero movie, so do you wish to helm another one, maybe like Batman or?
No, I don't know. I try not to think about all of the superhero movies. I'm still trying to get this one out.